When you go to save your Cinemagraph, it's going to be a little different from saving a photo. What you're going to do is go to the top of your screen, File, and then instead of Save As, you're going to hit Export and Save for Web. So that way we can shrink the file size a little bit so it doesn't take up too much space on your computer or take too long to turn in or maybe email to yourself. So give it a minute for this to load, and then we'll work on changing some of those settings just to um, lower the quality of the image or the Cinemagraph so that it doesn't take too long to load. So I'm going to change a couple things here. First of all, you'll notice if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, the file size right now that you have. Mine is set to 43 megabytes, which is pretty big. So I'm going to change that by changing the image size on the right. So I'm going to change the width and try just typing in 1,000 for now. And then when you click off of that, it might take a minute for it to load or hit enter. And you'll see that it will change the size of your megabytes or the size of your file. So give that a minute. And now in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that it changed it to 6 megabytes. So I would shoot for maybe somewhere between 3 to 5 or 3 to 10 megabytes would probably be a good size. And at the top here, I have original selected, so just make sure that it does say original. Now a couple other settings over here that you can work on changing. First of all, where it says selective, I would change that to adaptive color. Just changes the way that the color looks a little bit, and you can play around with these to see what you like. Each of them will look slightly different if you give it a minute to load and then change the picture here. But again, adaptive usually works the best. Over here where it says colors, make sure that that is set to 256. So that's just making sure that the clarity of the image is as clear as possible. So again, set that to the highest possible number that shows up on your screen. And again, if your resolution or the file size is still too big, you can always shrink the image size again. So maybe make that a little bit smaller if it takes too long to save your image, or if it ends up becoming too blurry, you can always go back and change the size to make that a little bit bigger. The last thing to change is the looping options. I would set that to forever, just so your Cinemagraph constantly is in a loop. So change that looping option to forever, and then you can change the name of it. You can change where it's going to be saved, but I'm going to hit done for now, and then it will save your image. So make sure that you export your video and change all of those settings.